I'm Peyton,
And I'm Chelsea,
and this is
states away,
okay. Where have we been?
not here.
Not here. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks, and
It's been
we
like
just,
2 weeks.
it's been like three.
What do you mean?
It's been a long time. We
Okay.
kind of disappeared, let's be honest. Um, Life has been a little chaotic.
A little rough around the edges.
Yeah. So sorry for a disappearance.
Yeah,
Um,
I was going through a breakup.
yeah, and school has been real rough. Real rough. So
We
we're
just needed a little break for a few weeks. I think we just were like not,
yeah,
you know.
and I've been applying for jobs and I got a job today. That was crazy.
Woo!
That's a happier note. I had an interview today and I knew the girl, like the woman, who was like in charge of the hiring before. And I walked in for this interview and she was like, "Well, the job's yours. Do you have any questions for me?" And I'm like, "Okay." Like she did talk about like where I'm working and like whatever, but I was like, "What do you mean the job's mine?" Like that wasn't an interview. Like
And after all the stressing that you did to walk in and just be like, the job's yours. You got any
yeah,
questions?
because I did an interview before and it was fine. Like it was scary. It was my first like actual interview, but it wasn't like a sit down interview. Well, I'm not working there. Applied t- I interviewed for Buckle. And for those of you who don't know, I don't like Buckle at all.
She's completely traumatized by Bubble.
Yeah, Buckle traumatized me, but it was a little ironic because I went and interviewed for Buckle, didn't get the job. And so then I've been like stressing ever since. And yeah, I literally just kind of walked in today and they're like, I know you and we looked at your resume and here's the job. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm like, I'm like,
Okay.
it's a really good thing I brought like a little notebook with like questions in it, or else she would have been like, "Do you have any questions?" And I was like, "No," because
I
I
know.
planned on going in there and just like asking questions based off of the interview. Well,
Yeah.
there was no interview, so it's a good thing I pre-wrote some questions because
It's hard being put on the spot. Like, even if you're completely qualified and you have like all and like you know what you're doing and all that, I swear if they put you on the spot, it's like all that knowledge leaves your brain for like however long
hmm
there. And as soon as you leave, you're like, well, I could have said this. Could have done that.
yeah, or like I prepared these answers. What? Why is nothing in there? But yeah, no, I'm really excited. I can't tell you guys what it is, but I am very excited. It's one of like really the only job that I was like, I actually kind of want to do this. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And on another positive note, honestly, like the breakup was rough. It wasn't exactly something that was wanted. It was more something that was desperately needed, unfortunately. And so for the first, chunk of time, I was really, really upset. I was really struggling. But I'm kind of finally starting to work through it, and I honestly feel more myself and happier than I have in months. And so it just goes to show that sometimes the things that you're not really sure that you want are sometimes the things that you need, and sometimes are the things that you need more than anything else. And sometimes you just have to trust your gut. Even if your mind and your heart are telling you something else, go with your gut and trust it because your body is looking out for you. And like I've just been feeling really good recently. Like at work, I feel like my job is like I feel like I'm like building confidence because I feel like I'm really finally starting to get the hang of this like substitute teaching thing and all of this. I'm getting to know the kids. The kids are really sweet. Even the ones that are like really difficult, where sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, would you just sit down for like 5 seconds, please? I still kind of can't help but love them to pieces because they're so cute, even though they're little stinkers.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm handling like the really like the kids that have more explosive reactions to certain things or have some pretty significant behaviors in some of the classrooms and stuff. Some of those situations can be really scary because it all of a sudden goes from 0 to 100 really fast and something happens and you have to act on the spot and you got to do the right thing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's can be very nerve-wracking, especially because if you handle it wrong and you do like the wrong thing and they don't like what you did and the wrong person doesn't like what you did, like you can get yourself in like a really not so good situation just because you acted on instinct and did something that someone didn't like. Like it's very nerve-wracking. So this,
I
especially like
just I just got your snap.
you just got
Your snaps just came through.
I did that so long ago. You know what? I'll reenact what I sent you because that's a whole story in and of itself. But listen, but I feel like I've been building a lot of confidence because there have been a couple situations like that popping up where like for a split second I was like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do?" And then like I realized that I kind of know exactly what to do.
Mm.
And feeling like I handled the situation as well as I possibly could and it ended up going well and went in a good direction and like I managed it. It really really has given me like a confidence booster, like feeling like I can handle this. I can do
Mm.
this. It's been so good for me mentally to do that. Like, I feel like recently I've been loving my job so much. I always really liked my job. Just being honest, I really liked this job since I started. There have been days that were really rough. There have been days that I've come home and cried. I'm gonna be honest. But I think that's just working with kids because
Yeah.
kids can be amazing, but they can always also be so hard sometimes. So it's been like a whole whirlwind of a lot of emotions and stuff. But recently I can honestly say that I've just been really, really loving my job. So on a positive note, I feel like I'm in a really good place right now. And honestly, I kind of love it. And I'm really glad. On the topic of the Snapchat that I sent you though, that was a little bit of a negative thing because I was driving down the road and some little tried to hit me. So I'm coming down. So there's this intersection by my house. And it's a four-way intersection, but the one way, like if you're, let's say like I'm coming down straight, like the direction that I was coming, in order to go straight, you kind of have to like go straight and then kind of swerve off to the side and then
Mm.
keep going straight. It's a very like weird, it's like a squiggle. I don't know why. It's a really, really horrible intersection. But for some reason, people think that if you're turning left, that you're just supposed to go and everyone's just supposed to let you go. I don't know what driving school they went to, but they went to the wrong one. And you would be surprised how many people are so confidently stupid at that intersection. So I go through. This person looks like she's like she's kind of gonna go and keep going when she shouldn't, but she's turning left. And so I'm like going to go straight, and then like because people will kind of inch up, but not actually go. So you kind of have to just go, or else you confuse people. It's a very, very confusing thing, and it's really hard to like know what to do at the intersection sometimes.
Mm.
So I go to go straight through, and I kind of slow down and hesitate because I'm not sure if she's going or not. Then she stops, so then I go. But as I go, I look over at her. There's this woman in the front seat doing this at me. I don't know what she was mouthing at me, but she was mad at me. And I was like, honey, you look like you're like 40 something. You definitely should know better. You definitely should know better, okay? You should know that turning left does not give you the right of way. And you are looking at someone who's like half of your age and you're gonna start mouthing off at her when you were wrong.
Yeah, so we had a driving story recently. So we went to Goodwill the other day. That's where I got this, but that's not even the point. We went to like four Goodwills. Well, we are pulling into a Goodwill and there's an Aldi right next to it. And so we pull into Aldi thinking like the parking lots were connected. They weren't. The person in front of us does the exact same thing. Well, they are like going to turn, like they turn, but then they're like trying to back into park. Well, we're coming this way and we're just kind of like sitting there waiting. And all of a sudden they like throw their hands up. It was like a mom and like a daughter. She like throws her hands up, freaking out. And so when we like park, because we're just trying to go to Goodwill, we're just gonna like walk over like the grassy area and like go. Like we're not gonna drive around. Like there was no point. It was like right there.
Right.
Well, then the mom gets mad, so she like whips around. Well, then she like parks three spots away from us and starts like staring us down. like through the window, just staring at us. And we're like, okay, this is weird. I am so sorry for the fuzz. I don't know where all of this dust is coming from.
Little fairies in there watching you.
I think it's just because I have like this light, and so it's like,
It like draws. It makes it all really like obvious. Yeah.
yeah. But
Some of them are so like some of them are so clear as day that they almost look like little like orbs or something.
yeah, I'm like, what is going on? But they part and then they get out, and as they get out, they're just staring at us. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to shut this light off. This dust is bothering me so bad. But they are staring at us as we walk into Goodwill. Like, so we left because we did not like want to mess with that.
Yeah, that would have made me so uncomfortable. I feel like and people are crazy. So like, you don't know what was going on upstairs,
Yeah.
you know?
But it was like both the mom and the daughter staring at us, and I'm like, why are we staring? And yeah, no, we left, and we were actually like going to Goodwill, that many Goodwills to try to find Ellie like cowgirl boots for the Kelsey Ballerini tour. Oh, that's another thing. I went to Crystal's and Kelsey Ballerini since we've been gone.
She
Um,
goes everything everywhere.
yeah, we went to St. Louis to see Kelsey. But so we were looking for boots for her, and then we ended up just going to like a shoe carnival, and we found the boots. We weren't even supposed to go. Shoe carnival is like a store. It's just a shoe store. Um, and so we go to shoe carnival, which we weren't going to go to. We just went because there was that crazy lady at Goodwill, and we ended up finding Ellie's shoes. So that was like fate, honestly. Like,
It's probably so loud.
yeah, no, it ended up being fate. We found Ellie's boots. We didn't go back to that Goodwill because like an hour later we like went back to see if the car was still there. Well, the car was still there an hour later. So we were like, yeah, we'll just go home. And then we drove to another town to go to another Goodwill where a GPS took us. Well, it turns out it was a Goodwill like drop off. It wasn't an actual Goodwill. So the GPS took us all the way to like the Goodwill drop off. So it
That's
was
interesting.
exciting. It was really exciting. Oh my gosh. Don't think it's ever been this dusty in my life. I haven't been here for a week and all of a sudden all the dust comes out. But yeah, so I went to see Crystals and I didn't get merch from Kelsey, but my poster did get a little crinkled because I got it before the show, and so then it did not fare well after. Okay, so hang on. They were doing little giveaways of like hats at Kelsey.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
Well, it lights up too.
It's like I mean it's a little bit like cheesy, but like in a cute fun way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they only had like a certain amount of hats. So we didn't originally get one. Ellie wanted one. And so my mom like walks up to the merch counter and she's like, "Do you know where we can find these hats?" And she's like, "Actually, they were a giveaway. Like they're probably all gone now, but there was like one hat sitting like as a display." And she's like, "You can just have that one." And so she gave Ellie the hat. Well, I was like, "Oh, that would be a cute little like souvenir or whatever." Like
Mhm.
if I can find someone's hat like on like a ledge or something, like I'll grab it, like spray it, whatever. Well, we went to throw our water away and there was a hat in the garbage and I was like, yeah, no. Like if it
That's
was
mean though to throw it in the garbage. Give
yeah,
it to somebody else.
yeah, no, we were like, this is so sad. And if it was sitting on top, I might have grabbed it because I'm not beyond that. I'm like, okay, like I'm probably never gonna wear it. It's gonna go on my shelf. So if it was sitting on top, like, of all of the garbage in the garbage, I probably would have grabbed it. But it wasn't. Like, there was other stuff on top of it. And so I was
And
like,
you just get to a point where it probably is all dirty and stained and like it's like ruined at that point.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, no. So I was kind of trying to watch out for other people to see if they were going to throw their hats away, like I did at the Taylor Swift concert for the bracelets, which I ended up just being able to grab a handful out of like the recycle pile. But I was like asking people if I could have their bracelets at Taylor Swift before the girl
I
went
still
out.
regret not grabbing like a handful of those because that would have been so much fun to have a few.
Yeah. No, I grabbed it because I was well, I wasn't going to grab it, and then my mom asked the lady that was like by the bracelet recycling, and she's like, "Can she just grab a handful of those?" And the lady's like, "Yeah, I don't care." And so I was just like, "Mine."
Can I
But
try to steal all your bracelets? Sure. Yay.
and then I had to make tabs for them. That was a nightmare. But that wasn't even the point. We're walking and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get a hat. Fine, like whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It was just cool. It didn't really matter that much. But then we're walking outside and it's raining. Someone like on those like little cement roadblocks. Do you know what I'm talking about? They kind of like, hang on. I don't know if I can show you. Um, they're literally just cement and they look like this. I know that's a great drawing. But
I
anyway,
don't think that.
cement roadblock. There's a hat sitting right on top of there. And I'm like, I look at my mom and I'm like, hat. And she's like, well, grab it. And so we just took it. I mean, it was outside. No one was grabbing it.
I mean,
Like,
if they really wanted it, I mean, like, just being honest, anyone who wanted it was keeping a hold on it, I'm sure. It just
yeah.
kind of somebody would have just left it there, but at least someone found it. Because, like, imagine it's just like, I don't want it, so you just like leave it.
And it was in the rain too. They left it outside
What?
in the rain. I was like, well,
Leave it.
I'm
Garbage can.
yeah. I was like, I'm gonna take it. And so I took it, and my mom's like, maybe it doesn't work, and that's why they left it, because it lights up. No, it worked. We got home and we just sprayed it, and yeah, I'm like, I'm
I want
taking
to go
it.
to more concerts. Like, I just don't really have like the time to go. I really don't have the money because really any money that I have needs to be going towards like trying to record my songs in the studio and stuff. Like, I
Mhm.
really can't spare large amounts of money like that right now. And then even if I did, like most of these people that I want to go see would have to travel pretty far to go see them because they don't always
Well,
come
Kelsey's
here.
going to Pittsburgh, and her tickets were only $50.
I thought that I looked in. I feel like there's some reason I couldn't go because I feel like I already looked into her and I couldn't go. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I don't know. You might have a birthday party or something,
I know
but
I literally have two birthday parties on May 3rd. Did I tell you that?
no, but I think I saw it in the calendar.
I have two scheduled for May 3rd, two of them in the same day. And then today I got another email. Someone asked me to do, they were like, we're playing a last minute surprise party for our like a 30th birthday. And I was like, oh my gosh, it could be for adults. That would be so much fun. But it's May 3rd. And I was like, why is everybody celebrating their birthday on May 3rd?
Yeah, I feel like that's a weird day too.
Yeah, it's the first one that I've had to turn down, which made me so sad.
Yikes. You're like, any chance you can schedule it for a different day?
Honestly, I felt tempted, but if it's like a whole surprise party planned last minute, it's probably not an option. I'm sure that if it was an option, they would they would say that because I've had people change their date so that I could do their party.
Hmm.
Like I've literally had people say like I'm still in the planning stages, so like does this work for you? No? Okay, let's change the date. What about this? What about this? What about this time? What about, and move stuff all over the place. The second birthday party that I have for May 3rd, I'm going a little bit later than she probably would have wanted me to, simply because I won't be able to make it there earlier than that.
Yeah.
Because I literally have to go from one party straight to the next and like grab some fast food on the way over there so I can eat in between.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a fun day.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You'll be tired, but it'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
But that could, I don't know. I don't know when she's playing, but she is going to Pittsburgh. And like I said, we bought resale, or not resale, but like off of Ticketmaster and they were only like $50.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to look maybe just to
But
see
th
like check why.
but that's why we go to so many things because we buy like the cheapest tickets possible.
Yeah.
Besides Taylor, that was
Oh yeah. But that's Taylor. That's different.
but that was a different circumstance. So,
Yeah, it's just tricky because if I go, then somebody else has to go. And generally, I would want my mom to go, but like neither me nor her will drive in Pittsburgh. So then somebody else would have to go with my dad, and then we go on my brothers, and it's like, do we just leave them here? Do we take them? And then before you know it, there's six of us going to a concert, and it costs $3 million. So
yeah. Yeah. No, I can
it
see.
really works super nicely for us. It doesn't end up like working out well.
Yeah, I drove up near Chicago. Me and Ellie just went like by ourselves. That was scary. I would do it in a heartbeat, but because it wasn't like in Chicago, it was like near Chicago, but that was like it's like really close. So it's basically sitting city driving, but it
Yeah,
was
and that's not
scary.
the greatest area from what I hear. Like that can be that's a little bit scary too. Like,
Chicago as a whole isn't scary. It depends on where you're at in Chicago.
uh,
So like where we went for Sabrina, not a great area. My mom drove us.
mhm.
Where we went to Megan, which is like slightly outside of Chicago, I mean, it was fine. Like my parents felt comfortable sending me like whatever. My mom was like, if it was at Soldier Field, I would send you. Like it just depends on where. Like,
That makes sense. And also being like right outside the city is, I think, a whole lot different probably than being like in the city.
yeah. No, and like this Chicago is generally a safer city. You just hear about it like a lot about it being unsafe. But it depends on like which parts you're in.
I wouldn't go into Pittsburgh alone. I'll tell you that much. I've seen plenty.
Yeah, well, me
And I
and
don't think it's one of those areas that you hear bad things about, but like I went I went with a friend to see Matilda at the theater down there. And on our way out, somebody was like asking her mom for money. And he looked a little bit like not, a little like scary. And he was like asking for money, and she was like, "No, I'm sorry, I don't have any." And he kind of kept asking her, and like we kind of like, and like that's like not that bad, except that like you don't know because if someone's like looking a little bit like not the safest and like they kind of keep asking you and won't and like they kind of like watch you a little bit, that's scary like when they watch you, especially when
mm,
you're a woman with three kids because we were still pretty young at the time, like younger
yeah,
at the time. You're talking about like a woman with three kids.
yeah.
That's an easy.
No, I
And
feel
you
like
need to
that
ask
just
her over and over again. You need to just back off.
I
But
feel
that's
like
how you
that
know they probably didn't mean well. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
No, I feel like that happens in any major town though, because like I've seen it happen in the town that I go to school in, and that's supposed to be safe.
Yeah.
Like,
But I also like, and I'm also a little bit quicker to be like, okay, if it seems a little bit sketchy, it's not worth the risk because I grew up in an area
yeah.
that it was pretty normal to hear about like bad things happening right down the road,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
shooting or people killing each other and stuff like
No,
there
it
was,
makes
you know
sense.
what I mean? So like, I'm also, are you there? What happened?
I'm here.
You see me?
Yeah.
It like disappeared off my, okay, I found it. It like literally just zoop, went away and I was like,
I saw, well, your face lit up, and I was like, what just happened? Okay, we had to take a brief break because my mom called and apparently the dog puked up poop all over the house.
that's fun.
Um,
Love dogs, right?
yeah. So I don't remember what we were talking.
Me neither. I know that we were talking about like concerts. Oh, you know what we were talking about? The safety of the city.
Yes, that is what we were talking about. Yeah. Because I was talking to my mom about it because she also went to Club Chris with me because it was in downtown Chicago, and she was like, I was like, I was just kind of asking, like, is it like Chicago in general that's unsafe, or is there Like, what's unsafe about it? And she's like, I mean, it's the city, so there's going to be like, it's going to be more unsafe, but it's not like, it just depends on where you are in the city. Like, that really matters because, like, you're not, like, when we went to Club Chris, she wasn't enthused about me driving in downtown Chicago. It wasn't necessarily the area, it was the driving,
Which makes sense because city driving's freaking terrifying.
which
Speaking of city driving, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish, and then I'll go on to my city driving rant.
no, it's okay. It just ended up not being that bad because we were going into the city and it was on a Sunday. So like I could have drove and like eventually when we got there, she was like in the parking lot and then she let me go like by myself and I had to like cross the street and everything to like get it. So she clearly wasn't like that worried. I was still on a little edge, but I'm just kind of always on edge. So that
Well,
was
and you always should be, like especially as a
yeah.
woman and in the city, like you're always going to be because you kind of have to
Yeah.
be.
No, I'm already
So
always
like, you know,
yeah.
but I get what you're saying.
But her and Ellie like walked around and like went to see like the river being green and like whatever. So she clearly wasn't that worried about it either. So that obviously it depends on the city and the area and like whatever. I just don't want to
With
make
the
like
day
the
and time.
general I just don't want to make the generalization that all cities are unsafe or all parts of the city are unsafe because that's like not true.
I mean, yeah, like it just depends. I think that when you're in the city, the chances of something happening are significantly increased, mainly just because there's a lot more, like it's a denser population. So there's
Yeah.
more everything, which means more bad.
Hmm.
So it's a less safe area than like a small town. You
Yeah,
know, like
because there are just more people.
yeah.
Like that
Like,
that's the really the only reason. Like there are more people.
and then you have some places too where there's like I know that in Pittsburgh there's some areas that are like low income housing where it is like you'll get some some people living in those areas. Like some people just choose to live there because I don't want to pay a whole fortune for a house. Like
Hmm.
my dad knows people at work who have like a really, really nice car, but then live in like a cheap, like yucky looking house, and they're like, well, yeah, but like I want my car. And like
Yeah.
that's their choice, which is like that's one thing. Then you have people who are like not the kind of people that you want to associate with living in those places, which is
Yeah.
probably Pittsburgh has a little bit extra like because you have some of those people milling around who might be
And
causing.
that's the other thing me and my mom talked about. It was like, yes, like there are bad people and they are more likely to be in worse, more likely. I don't want to say they're always in worse situations because that's simply not true, but
Yes.
they're more likely to be in worse situations. And so, like then they like live in like the low income housing areas, but then no one wants to live there because it's more dangerous, and so then the prices drop, and so then more people move in, like type thing. So like it's kind of like a cycle, but
Because obviously there's plenty of rich people that are really messed up individuals.
oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Huh, you know. But here's my rant though, okay? Because this is whew. So we went to Aiden's gymnastics meet. He went to regionals and it was in New Jersey this year.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. They have like 4-lane roads and 5-lane roads, okay? And they were horrible. And everyone is like cutting in front of people like crazy. Like my dad driving on the road and like I was like sitting in the back like because people would be like cutting in front of him and like almost hitting him and stuff.
Honey, you would not last in Chicago.
It was just bad. Like my dad was getting antsy, and my dad is usually pretty like he's a pretty chill driver. And like I mean he's and between him and my mom in the front seat, they were like, ooh. And and then they were confusing. We kept going in circles because we would try to get off like an exit, Then you'd get off the exit and like not go through this exit, but go through the next one, and then go through this loop de loop, and it was crazy and it was really confusing. And so we kept going in like circles because he would take the wrong turn. Because like and also his phone's kind of old, so like the Apple Maps wasn't working very well. So like it wasn't really correctly in time with us. So it
Hmm.
looked like it was supposed to turn, we weren't. It was a whole thing. So we kept joking because we literally had to wrap around like 3 times one of the times to get off of whatever
Yeah.
pathway or whatever we were on to get to the hotel.
So when I went to see Megan, I got off on exit A. Well, I was supposed to like whatever number A. Well, I was supposed to get off on whatever number B. And so me and Ellie had to do like a whole loop de loop because
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's like average Chicago experience though. Like not you specifically, but pe like Chicago is a nightmare to drive in. Like even my dad doesn't like it. Like because people just don't give any craps. Zero craps to give.
Well, and Pittsburgh's a little bit scary too. Like I don't I really don't know much about it because I don't drive there, but I know that like some of the roads are like I've been told by people who do drive there because I don't drive in there, so I really don't know super well. But they're like the roads. Some of them don't make sense the way that they like connect and the way that they like go. Like some of them are just really confusing, so it gets like really really weird. Like when you're driving around down there, it's very easy to get lost. I remember one time I was down there. I was on a date with the guy that I was dating at the time, and he refused to use the maps. They were a GPS. He kept insisting that he could figure it out and he knew and da da da. And I was like, okay. We went in circles and circles, and I was like, we've been here before. We've been here, but we've been here before. And I was like, I just gave up at some point. I was just waiting for him to drive us into like the worst place and get a shot or something because I was like, I don't even know what to do anymore.
Like, can we use maps, please?
He's just like, stop doing this. And I think I can't, the only thing is I can't remember if he finally let me pull up a GPS or if he finally found his way out. I don't know.
It's just scary because like there's so many like because they have to like work the roads to get into certain areas and then it's like the it's scary.
Yeah.
Okay, I love the fact that we went into this and we're like maybe we'll talk about hair because I kind of want to chop my hair. We spend almost all of our time talking about the city.
Literally. Yeah. But, we'll talk about hair next time because I can talk about being a curly girly and how the struggle is real, guys. The struggle is real.
It's so cute though.
Yeah, but I always feel so like frumpy
There's
when I
so
have
much dust coming off of me. I'm just a dusty, crusty person.
dusty crusty. I
But I
can't.
kind of want to chop my hair. We can talk about that next time. But
I told her that if she chops her hair, she just needs to let it grow a little bit longer so that she can chop it off and make a wig out of it for me so that I
but
can
like
have it.
look, it would be kind of cutesy.
See, sometimes I start looking at my hair and I'm like, I could probably look cute with like some shorter hair, but I cut my hair short once and I look like a boy. It didn't help my case that I wanted bangs and I wanted curtain bangs and I told them to cut them to about my chin because I wanted them a little bit shorter than that, but my hair is naturally curly, so I knew that it would like spring up to here.
Hmm.
So I asked her to cut them to here. And she cut them to like my eyes. And so then they curled, and then there was like this like, little bit of curl that was like kind of like I don't know. I looked like a boy. They cut my hair shorter than I wanted them to. They cut the bangs shorter than I wanted them to. It was bad. I don't think I'm ever gonna cut my hair short again. And even as it grew out, when I look back at pictures of it, it was not cute. It made my face look like fat and like chubby. I don't know. I just do not pull off short hair.
Yeah, so I like the long hair. Don't get me wrong. It'll probably get longer. I'm getting it cut before the cruise, or I'm getting it done before the cruise. But I always put it up in a ponytail. Like it looks cute and whatever when I actually do stuff with it, but like during the summer I don't do anything with it. I just like put it up. So I'm thinking that if I cut it in like June, which is when we are going, if I cut it, it'll grow out by like the fall and then I'll get like the look.
Yeah.
that I
Well,
want.
I'm honestly starting to wonder if I should like do a little choppy chop because my hair's a little bit like struggling towards the ends. And if I chopped it, I wonder if it would like grow out faster and more because I really want my hair to be like longer than this. It used to be longer and then I damaged it and now it won't like get past this point. But like I'm afraid I'm gonna look like a boy again.
Yeah.
But we should probably get to signing off here because we're about to get cut off.
We can talk about hair next week.
Stay tuned.
All right. Bye, everyone. Mwah. Love you.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Bye.